Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys another Overwatch 2 video here today talking about something really fun. Competitive mystery heroes. If you haven't been paying attention to the competitive list the past few weeks, they added competitive mystery heroes. And it's a lot of fun. I gotta say, I am a mystery heroes aficionado, always have been, always will be. It's my second most played game mode in the whole game behind competitive. I pretty much never play quick play, and the only time I play arcade is when I'm playing, it used to be in arcade, was Mystery Heroes. And anytime outside of that, it was like the LTMs, your May Snowball fights, your Lucio balls, your limited time event things like, you know, Junkenstein's Revenge, things like that. But when Overwatch 2 came out, for some reason they put Mystery Heroes into quick play, which I don't completely understand, but, you know, at very least this way, if you like playing quick play, it's now always available instead of, you know, there were some times in Overwatch 1 where it wasn't available. But what I really liked about Mystery Heroes in Overwatch 1 is that for the arcade missions where you had to, you know, get wins to unlock a free unlockable or, you know, your free loot boxes or things like that, Mystery Heroes was what I went to all the time, every single time, because you can win very, very quickly, and I won most of the time. My Mystery Heroes winning percentage all time is 68%. I know, I'm 1% off the glory number. I actually might be there by now. I actually haven't checked since competitive came out, but I've been having a lot of fun. I got to Masters in competitive Mystery Heroes very quickly. And it's just a game mode I've always done well in. You can say it's like pure 100% luck, things like that. Or, you know, if you're really good at diversifying your hero portfolio, you're going to increase your chances of winning. You know, it's probably a mix of those. There definitely, of course, is going to be luck in whatever hero you get. But I feel comfortable on every single hero. There's really only like 2 heroes in the whole game that I don't pick in competitive mode, and that'll be like Genji and Mercy some of the time. Sometimes I'll pick Mercy if we're like on Junkertown defense and we need a full hold and my Ana's been picked, then like, yeah, I'll go Mercy because like we really need that res in order to get that full hold, something like that. But outside of, you know, those 2 picks, I really play every single character in the game. I play all the tanks, play all the supports, and you know, whenever I play Mystery Heroes, that's when I usually play DPS. But I'm actually starting to play DPS now in competitive now that the queue times are much lower. And the fact that tank is just such an inconsistent experience for me personally. So I feel like competitive Mystery Heroes is a good change of pace. And if you haven't played Mystery Heroes in a couple of years, they did make a couple of changes to make it better. And in that, if they get a god comp, say something like, you know, Bastion, Reinhardt, Mercy, it's like, okay, Bastion's never going to die, you're always going to lose. That sucks. If they do that and they roll you, or, you know, something like Roadhog, Mercy, it's like, okay, you lost. There's just no beating that. Roadhog is just the best character. Mystery Heroes always has been, always will be. Self-healing characters are always going to be great. Tanks, of course, you know, whoever gets the most tanks is going to be winning. And Mystery Heroes in Overwatch 2 also made a couple of changes when it was first launched because of the tank changes. Now there can only be at maximum 3 tanks on your team. I feel like it would be a little bit better if it was maximum 2 tanks. Because, you know, if it's 2 Zaryas and a Roadhog, nothing's going to die if they have a single support on their team. So, you know, you hate it when the enemy team gets God comp, right? And there's just literally nothing you can do about it. It doesn't matter how good you are, how good your teammates are, how good you can synergize. If they just come out at you with 2 Roadhogs that heal each other and you don't have 2 supports and you have only 1 tank and, you know, Widowmaker that's in the back line doing nothing, so they're also not dying. You know, that kind of sucks, right? But at least if they roll you with that in 1 round, they are forced to respawn as different characters in the other round if it's something like Control. And one of the best things that have changed for competitive Mystery Heroes that you don't get outside of competitive Mystery Heroes is that it's competitive, so you get to attack and defend if it's like a payload or a hybrid. So that's really cool. That was one of the shortcomings of Mystery Heroes. Traditionally, is that, you know, if you were like on a map where it's really hard to defend or really hard to attack and you just get rolled over because they got a good comp, there's nothing you can do about it. But now you can roll them right back by, okay, now you're on the attack and things are great. So that, I think, is definitely the best change and the best thing about competitive Mystery Heroes. So now I would just rather play competitive Mystery Heroes instead of normal Mystery Heroes every single time, because if we're on a hybrid or a payload map, I'm going to be able to play attack and defense. So I'm in a little bit more control of how many games I can win, because I kind of have more say in that. Now, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but like I've in any game that I play, I love diversity, because I hate playing the same thing over and over, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a card game, a fighting game, a FPS, you know, the third-person FPS, no matter what it is. I hate playing the same thing over and over. I like seeing all the different play styles, all the different classes, all the different roles, and Mystery Heroes obviously gives me that. And in Overwatch 1, it was legitimately the only way I got to play DPS characters. So, and another great thing about, I mean, this is less so on competitive because it's competitive and there's actually something at stake. It's that in Mystery Heroes, like, there's less pressure. There's less pressure to perform, because it's like, okay, you got bad heroes. You know, there's nothing you can do. They got a Bastion and a Sigma and a Zarya and a Moira. Like, oh, okay, well, sucks. There's nothing you could have done on your singular Genji or your singular Kiriko or your singular Cassidy, right? There's nothing you can do. Nobody expects you to coordinate. I actually have seen, believe it or not, some people flaming the team in Mystery Heroes. It's like, guys, I'm not getting any help. It's like, what do you mean you're not getting any? No one's getting any help. It's Mystery Heroes. You're not always going to be the same role. You're changing every time you're dying, except for me, because spoiler alert, I don't die in this game. So it's, granted, not the greatest showcase of like how good I'm at Mystery Heroes, because I only play 2 characters and they are both support, which is my greatest role. But still, I find it very fun. There are some characters that are just not nearly as good, and there are some characters that are way better in this game. Like Reinhardt, great tank, right? He's not as good in Mystery Heroes, especially if he's the only tank and you have no support. You're just gonna get poked out and die, right? But like I said, Roadhog, he can self-heal and do a fuck ton of damage. Anything that can self-heal, you'll live longer, and therefore you're going to get your ultimate, right? And that can be the name of the game for Mystery Heroes, is getting your ultimate, because most people aren't getting their ultimate, because most players aren't going to be able to live long enough, because you're going to die and you're going to lose that ult charge. It's going to be a little different in Overwatch 2, granted, because you're going to keep up to 25% of that ult charge. So there's a little bit more ults in Overwatch 2's Mystery Heroes ever since that change a season ago, where it became outside of DPS that all roles got to keep that 25%. And, you know, maybe that does change in the future. Who knows? But if you can stay alive, you're going to get your ult. That's going to swing fights. And there can be a little bit of gamesmanship in Mystery Heroes. It's not just all like pure luck. If they have something that's not really great, like Symmetra, and it's like a really long line of sight, or Widowmaker, and they're just doing Widowmaker things, aka not much, you leave them alone, because now they're stuck. They even if they kill themselves, they're going to respawn on that hero, because they made that change pretty early on in Overwatch 1, where people were able to exploit, hey, if I spawn on a bad character, I could jump off the map at the beginning and then have a better chance at spawning with a better character. They changed that. You're going to respawn as the same bad character, which you can also use to your advantage if you are on a good character, a character that you do like, especially one that's like value is outside of their ultimate and you're about to die. I'm going to jump off the map, so I respawn as this good character. So like there is a little bit of strategy outside of just pure solely good gameplay on a large variety of heroes, which I do like to believe that I have. I have a large repertoire. Most people tend to singularly main a character in seemingly any video game, which I find a little bit odd in certain games, especially Overwatch. That's not really a game where I think you should be maining, because you're not going to perform well. And I mean, unless you're a god tier Wrecking Ball, if you only play Wrecking Ball, you're just going to have a bad time, and so on and so forth. So I always find myself having a lot of fun with Mystery Heroes, and the fact that we get competitive Mystery Heroes rewards me, I guess, I don't know, rank-wise, probably competitive points as well, especially if and when we get new cosmetics. That's just going to be another avenue for me to get those without, maybe you really, really don't care about this like you do for like all roles queue competitive, and you want to take a break from try-harding on your main role or secondary role in regular competitive. It's a nice change of pace to where you still get rewarded for it, and it's still fun. And like I said, with the ability to attack and defend, it's just a better version of Mystery Heroes than we've ever had before. And the fact that they did go into consideration about how strong tanks are and limit it to 3 per role. I'm not sure if there's like any sort of like back end stuff that they don't tell us about, because I felt like in Overwatch 1, you had like a 40% chance of spawning as Bastion, like every time. Like everybody ended up being Bastion in Mystery Heroes in Overwatch 1, and that's not the case, but I feel like the chances of spawning as a tank in Overwatch 2 are much higher than they were in Overwatch 1. Maybe it just feels that way because they're a lot stronger, but actually in Mystery Heroes, they are weaker than they are in all the other regular game modes. So like they're not going to have as big of a HP pool. So they're not going to last nearly as long and dominate the game. So it's not as bad, definitely not as bad as, I mean, look how quickly that Ramachu died. Surely I, hit a couple of headshots into him as Kiriko, but he wouldn't have nearly died that quickly. Neither would have that Orisa. So it has gotten a lot better if you haven't played it in a couple of months or a couple of years. It's gotten way better. I just, I say try it out, have some fun, and it's really, really, it feels really good when you can lead the entire team in a limbs, damage, heals, and mitigation, because you got to play all these different roles. I feel like that's fun. There's like not very many singular characters that can possibly do that all by themselves. Yeah, I guess Roadhog's the only one who could do it nowadays, now that mitigation is a thing. Otherwise, Soldier also could have done that in Overwatch 1, but it's just fun to just have that sort of variety of gameplay without as much pressure, while still getting to try some things out that maybe you didn't get the chance to before in a competitive setting.